Grand cuisine is defined as the rich, intricate, and elaborate cuisine of the 18th and 19th century French aristocracy and upper classes. It's based on the identification, development, and adoption of strict culinary principles. By emphasizing the how and why of cooking, Grand cuisine was the first to distinguish itself from regional cuisines, which tend to emphasize the tradition of cooking. Sarah Kernan, a graduate in interdisciplinary specialization in literacy studies, notices that the changes occurring in French food were intimately connected with the French thought during the 1650s and 1800s. Because of its cultural advancements, French cuisine has altered our present-day varieties of cooking to resemble their matchless technique and distinctive flavors. The fundamentals originating in French cuisine are all around us, but first you have to discover what sparked this revolution in the culinary field. So there were masterminds behind it, and there's also what came from those masterminds, intuition and ideas, and also how it applies to us today. French cuisine was governed by a few select masterminds. One of these masterminds was Antoine Carême. According to the textbook on cooking, Carême was known as the cook of kings and the king of cooks. He was acknowledged as a French Grand cuisine master chef. He devised a system of classifying and standardizing sauces by using a thickening agent called a roux, which is equal parts flour and butter to use to thicken that sauce. And after 200 years, it still remains in the industry, which I think is incredible. Another man that cannot go unnoticed is Auguste Escoffier. He was the most innovative chef in history, as the LDEI says, whose philosophy and technique serves both as a model and an inspiration for the culinary professionals today. And finally, my personal favorite is Julia Child. She introduced the sacred cuisine to our world through her TV-loved appearance. Julia transcended cultures and made French cooking easy and home-friendly. As the Julia Child Foundation simply states, Julia is America's favorite chef. The New World Encyclopedia plainly said that during their lifetimes, these chefs were held in high regard for their contributions to our country. And without these chefs, we would not have been able to experience mother sauces like bechamel, hollandaise, tomato, espagnole, and velouté. All serve as a foundation to some of the dishes that you and I would go and eat at like a fancy restaurant. It's really incredible. And also, what we like to call in the culinary field is classic industry knife cuts, like all of your dices, Brunoise, Bâtonnet, Julienne. All of these serve as a standard for uniformity in cooking and making sure like everything is to a T. So you may be thinking, how does this apply to me? I don't get it. Like, I don't ever see this anywhere. But this may be a bogus example, but take McDonald's French fries, for example. If it wasn't for like the Bâtonnet cut, this is a classic French Bâtonnet cut of a carrot. And if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be a standard for McDonald's French fries, of all things. So my culinary inspirations, Carême, Escoffier, and Julia Child, helped forge a new age from the old world, and this brought forth pristine sauces and standard knife cuts, but most importantly, it shaped and modernized our world. The French's colorful history serves us now as a foundation to many varieties of modern cuisine, and these culinary advancements made Grand cuisine simple and eloquent as a way to transition from the old age to the new age, from food for kings to food for all. So hopefully now you have a clear understanding, or for those of you who had already had some experience in the culinary field, have a more expounded understanding of this field and the tranquility of it all.